Okay, there's a message coming through for Wave of the Collective, and it's very important for you to hear this if you've landed on this. There is a lot of momentum building. You have just closed out a 13 plus year cycle. You are the cycle breakers. This message is for those who know they're here to alchemize lifetimes of ancestral dramas and traumas in their lineage, and you have been through it. You have been on this path for a long time, and you agreed on a soul level to come here and alchemize. You've most likely been born into a very dysfunctional family environment. You've had to deal with a lot of abuse, abandonment, or betrayal throughout the course of your lifetime. You have always felt like the lone wolf or the outsider. You've likely developed a lot of codependent patterns in order to cope. People pleasing, giving your power away, self abandonment, self betrayal. You've likely attracted a lot of toxic partners in order to mirror back where you are still not choosing yourself. And I say this with love. This is not judgment. This is not blame. We call in sacred mirrors to reflect back where we are not choosing ourselves on this path. We also have partners that reflect back the love that we are. But when you are in this process of alchemy and purification, you will attract partners that reflect back all of the places where you're still not choosing yourself. And the message here is for those that have been choosing themselves. You've likely had a huge, like, spike in your transformational, alchemical, phoenix rising, dark night of the soul journey in 2019, and then again in 2023. The message here is that you are shifting into a whole new reality, a whole new life that looks nothing like what you are familiar with up until this point. This kind of piggybacks off of yesterday's message where it's time to let go of all the burdens and everything that you've been carrying. They're not yours to carry. They're not yours to carry. Whatever, however that relates to you, however that resonates, that just needed to come through. There's a lot of momentum building in the collective right now for those that are in this wave of the first wave of new earth humans that are here to build through their frequency, through resonance and coherence with the divine truth and divine love that they are. That is how we build new earth. And you are a new earth human if you are landing here and resonating with this. There's a lot of momentum. You may be seeing number sequences like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like all the way to zero and then starting over again. The sequence, if you haven't been seeing them, you might start seeing them after this as confirmation. The momentum is building. There may be action steps for you to take, and you will know what those are in order to move more in the direction of your dream desired reality, not the egoic desires that are always trying to fill a void. If this is resonating with you, you have been anchored in truth and coming into or abiding in inner union. You have been content and at peace despite what the external world has been reflecting back. And this is how you know that this message and transmission is for you. You have come into union within despite 3D circumstances because you have stopped giving your power away and started going inward to connect with the divine love and divine power and divine truth that you are. And this has not gone unnoticed. This from the divine, the infinite intelligence that's running this whole show, call it God, call it consciousness, call it infinite self of that which you are an extension of. This has been a purification phase. You have been prepared as a vessel and as a channel to share your divine magic and your gift with the world, whatever that is. It's different for everyone. So I can't sit here and speculate what that means for you, but I can say if you're resonating with me, I'm a sacred mirror for those that are here to lead New Earth. And many of you are channels in a verbal sense where you are guided to share and speak, share your story, share your message, share the ancient wisdom that bubbles up within you when you get out of the way and you drop into presence. And this is a little taking a little spin. I wasn't expecting this, but this is what's coming through right now. So I'll share it. There's a trusting in what is coming through and stop second guessing what is coming through and take the next action on what is coming through. It's time to fully trust and know that you are guided and protected and supported on this journey. You are one with the ultimate creator that created you. There's nothing that's been happening out of order or by accident or mistake. Everything has been divinely preparing you and purifying you for your role in New Earth to build New Earth from frequency and truth. And that looks different for everyone. I'm speaking to those that are feeling called now to step fully into their divine magic and their authentic divine expression and share their magic and their gifts with the world. In the new earth economy, you are a creator. You're not a worker. You are a creator. You are a divine creator that is one with the ultimate creator, and you are here to create. You are here to play. You are here to step into the unknown and follow your curiosity and listen to your heart. So, the message right before I hit record was it's time to listen and follow your heart into the unknown. You cannot sit in the old identity anymore that's fearful and in doubt and afraid and constantly measuring the external world with this barometer stick to try to determine your level of um, your level of success or your level of safety or your level of approval or whatever. Like, it doesn't come from the external world. That the external world form is not your barometer. You first are your barometer. And I know right now this is registering with you and clicking with you. And for some of you, this just may be fun confirmation for what you already know, and for others it may be a very pivotal point on the journey where this needs to be reminded. This is needs to be heard in a different way or received in a different way from you for this to finally click. And that is that you, the divine you, the divine human that you are not the human identity. Many of you are already aware and receiving glimpses of your divine nature and no longer identifying as the separate self and the mind. And many of you are in the process of oscillating between that, in the in between, and not fully recognizing the divine power that lies within you yet. And others right here, right now, at the time of this recording, this is both a timeless message and a timely message, because there are those that are tuning into this message right now that just know. And all it is a choice for you now to choose your sovereignty and move in the direction of your divine reality, not from egoic desire that's trying to put a band-aid. I want to really, I'm really feeling called to preface this with an extra disclaimer here. This isn't the egoic identity trying to move into a higher timeline to escape whatever your current life circumstances. That's not what I'm referring to. If you're still trying to escape your life circumstance and you're trying to quantum shift or timeline jump into a new desired reality because you're trying to run from your own creation, you will not timeline jump into your highest divine reality. You will not shift into that timeline because you're still coming from fear based consciousness and you're running from your own creation. You created the timeline and reality that you're in right now. And you cannot run from what you are afraid to feel in the old paradigm, in the old identity. You cannot run from or numb out or layer coping mechanisms over what you are afraid to feel. And this includes binging quantum shifting videos or timeline jumping videos from a place of hopeful, wishful thinking, which is just masking an underlying avoidance of what your current reflection is trying to show you. And the current reflection is just trying to show you where you are still not choosing yourself, where are you still not choosing truth, where are you still choosing fear over truth. At the end of the day, the only thing that moves you into your highest divine reality is truth, divine truth, love, divine love, which means you cannot hide, you cannot fake this, you cannot fake your frequency, you cannot fake your embodiment, you cannot fake being present with what is. You cannot fake alchemizing what is through the light of your consciousness. You cannot run from or selectively numb or push away or resist or suppress what it is you don't want to feel. And this includes using quantum shifting or timeline jumping as some kind of strategy or technique to try to move away from a timeline you do not want to fully feel. So, this is not saying that you, let me elaborate on this. This is not saying that you dwell in doubt and fear. This is about you recognizing where you are still operating from doubt or fear so that you can reclaim your power from a place of divine sovereignty. If you try to run from doubt or fear or lack or unworthiness, all you do is create more of it in your 3D reality. Because what that's ultimately saying is that you are somehow insufficient, unworthy, unlovable, not good enough. And that is a lie. That could not be further from the truth. And so, what the egoic mind tries to do is tries to go out and get all of the bells and whistles that it thinks it needs out in the 3D world in order to make itself feel better and fill a perceived void that doesn't exist. And the one thing that's coming up right now is at a certain point, you will see that no amount of chasing or seeking will ever satisfy the egoic appetite, the egoic mind's appetite. It's very hungry. And it doesn't matter how many synchronicities you feed it, how many videos you binge, how much you get temporary satisfaction from some kind of external form of comfort, safety, or security, whether that be um, a new relationship or an influx of money or a new client or a new opportunity. If it's coming from fear-based consciousness, it will not satisfy you. You will not feel content. You will not feel satisfaction. You will not feel fulfilled. You will constantly be chasing the next high because the egoic mind is always hungry for more, which is why you can see literally a million different synchronicities that blow your mind, and it will light you up and feel amazing for about 10 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe a day. And then you'll go back to voraciously seeking and chasing the next sign, the proof that you need out there in order to satisfy your incessant fear and doubt that is lingering beneath the surface. And there's a few things I want to point to here. There is no out there. You are all of this. The more you seek out there to try to confirm or validate yourself, or the more you seek external proof, the more you actually keep the proof from revealing itself in your 3D reality, right? So the more you seek or chase the love, the more it ceases to be in the 3D reality. The more you seek or chase the abundance, the more it ceases to be in the reality, because you're basically holding it outside of yourself and saying that you're not that, you're not it. And you are it. You are the love that you're seeking. You are the abundance that you're seeking. You are all of it. And so I know this message is kind of going in a bunch of different directions, because I know there's different ways of the collective that will be tuning into this. There are those right now that are here right now with so much momentum building. You know who you are. The message that's coming through is to trust and know what you already know. Like, your knowing and your being is the key to the kingdom. Trust and know what you already know. You are the key to the kingdom. You are the portal to your highest timeline. You are the proof that you've been seeking. I'm getting full body chills right now, and you know this. I'm just giving you a little reflection, a little confirmation that maybe you didn't even need. Maybe you just like being aligned with conversations like this and being tapped into the collective unfolding. This is where you're at right now. Your trust and in your knowing in what you already know to be true. You being it is your key to the kingdom. And the momentum is building. You can feel it, you can trust it, and you can also take whatever courageous, guided steps are revealed to you that move you into the unknown and move in the direction of what you know you're here to share, or here to create, or here to be an example of. And for those that are locked into this right now and resonating with this wave of the collective, have you already have clarity around what lights you up and what fuels your heart and soul and what is pulling on you. And there may be a guided step. You can't force it, but you can be open to receive it, and you can take the courageous action and choose yourself. That is it. It's the conscious choice of going all in on what you know to be true. And that is what locks this new life cycle completely into place for you. Going all in on what you already know to be true. That's it. There's no doubt, there's no fear, there's no lack in divine mind. You are it. You choose it. It is done. It is so, through the power vested in you and the infinite self that you are an expression of. It is done. It is finished. It is complete. Move in the beingness and the knowingness of that conviction. Unwavering in your trust and faith and knowing. And it's not your trust and knowing, it's knowing. You are the knowing. And that's what I'm gonna, that's for this wave of the collective that's really resonating with this. You are at the precipice of a whole new life cycle. And the old identity is just this extra weight and burden that you no longer have to carry. It's time to let it go. It's time to cut it. It's time to drop it. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant at this point. Everything that served you up to this point, it's now irrelevant in the very best way. Not like you don't have reverence for it, not like you don't love those parts of the process, and the growth and the expansion and the alchemy and the beauty and all of it that transpired, but you don't bring it with you. You have a fresh start. You have a fresh slate. You have a fresh new beginning. This is like the image that's coming up is the Fool card. traveling light, playful, curious, moving into the unknown, beginning a whole new cycle. You're not just turning a page, you're not just writing a new chapter, you're in a whole new book. Okay? 2025 right now at the time of this transmission, and as we wind down this 9 year, this will be the month that goes down in your human history, the story of you, where everything shifted and changed and nothing looks the same. Nothing. So whatever comes up, those old parts, love them. There's no resisting anything. You cannot resist your current creation and move into your highest timeline. There's a reverence and a respect for everything that's transpired up until now. It's all served your highest timeline. It's all served your ascension. It's all served your purification. It's all served your mission. It's all served the level of compassion and empathy that you've, and humility and strength and resilience that you've gained and that you've cultivated within. And that goes with you. But it's the identity of the one that needed that cultivated those things. You get to take all of the wisdom, all of the alchemy with you, but everything else is dead weight now. You take the wisdom and you take the alchemy, and everything else is dead weight. Everything else is a burden that is no longer your cross to bear. You are moving into your highest divine reality, and you're traveling light, fresh start, free, free to be however you want to be, free to answer the call in whatever way your heart is pulling you. And you don't get to figure it out, and you don't need to know. And I'm getting full body chills again. You just get to step into the unknown with curiosity and play, and you get to live this life day by day, moment, in the now. Like it's just, oh, you're always here, just enjoying it, all of it, watching the unfolding and reveling in it. The message is coming through for you, and you can trust this if it resonates. I was getting full body chills. It's about to get really, really good. You're about to see why you went through everything you went through. You're about to reap the divine uh, inheritance that is pent up for you in the quantum, and going to be coming into your 3D experience as a reflection of the divine love and truth that you are embodying. Not because you're chasing it, not because you're seeking it, not because you're longing for it, not because you're needing it. You're about to be blessed in ways beyond what the mind has ever even perceived possible, because you're moving beyond the psychological borders of your mind. So even trying to figure it out is limiting what's about to unfold. Just know that the unfolding is here and now, and that you can trust this knowing. It is in the knowingness and in the being of this knowing. You are one with it. 3D reality has no choice but to reflect back the divine power, truth, and love are, that you are expressing, the frequency you're emitting, the signal you're broadcasting. This isn't to say that now that you're writing this whole new, you're starting a whole new book. This is the story of the human experience. The story of you is unfolding and deepening into new levels of expansion and growth and prosperity beyond what you thought was even possible. Because prior to this, and for the decades prior to this, you've been identified with a very limited version of what is possible. based on conditioning, based on what's the word? Based on conditioning, based on the family dynamics or the experiences that you've had, the traumas and the dramas, and all of that has shaped what you have thought yourself to be and who you thought yourself to be, and has caused you to have a perception in your mind of what you are, who you are, what is possible. And it has solidified an identity in what feels very solid, and that is dissolving. You are free, free to be, free to play, free to create. You're not here to work in the new earth. You're here to create in the new earth and be divinely compensated for your magic and your gifts, for your story, for your message, for the art. Whether you're speaking that art, whether you're creating that art, whether you're singing, whether you're dancing, whether you're, I don't, your art can be whatever your art is. It's going to light you up, whatever that is. It's going to fuel your heart and light up your soul. It's going to call you, it's going to pull you, it's going to get you out of that old familiar pattern or old whatever's been familiar for you, which is why it's important to just follow your heart into the unknown. Follow your heart into the unknown. And that's the message that's coming through right now. There was something else that was coming through for those that are in another wave, still purifying and still alchemizing. It's interesting. It's always like this, that in hindsight, when you look back, once you've, I'm getting full body chills right now, as you rise from the ashes of the old self that once thought yourself to be this little human self that was unworthy and not good enough and not lovable, constantly chasing and seeking outside of yourself. When you look back at all of the unfolding, always in hindsight, it makes sense. And there's a deep level of gratitude and reverence for everything that has transpired on this human timeline, right? That we all agreed to play. But when you're going through it, it doesn't feel like that. When you're going through it, it feels like you just walked into a complete tornado of tower moments and dark nights, and while all of those are serving, and while all of those are purifying, and all of those are what your soul came to experience in order to go to the depths of your being and recognize your true power. Oftentimes, you have to experience the contrast of that. I'm speaking to the very brave souls that came here to experience their divine greatness in this incarnation and lead as a new earth humanity into a whole new dimension of consciousness. This is a courageous path. And it's often in the contrast of your divine greatness. And it's often in the contrast of giving your power away and self abandoning and losing yourself, losing your truth, that you have the greatest revelations. Everything has been serving you. I'm getting emotional right now. Everything has been serving you. And it's in those moments when it feels like shit and that nothing is making sense and you're being completely, just feel like you're a rag doll being torn, just pulled in a million different directions, and you have been brought to your knees and had your coming to Jesus moments. These have all been part of your rebirth. It's all part of the rebirth. And it's in the contrast that we often get to see our divine light. our the divine love, the divine truth, our divine power, which is what you came here to experience. You came to experience your divine greatness. You came to be divinity in human form. That's a tall order. On a soul level, that's a courageous soul. That's an ancient soul that's been through this rodeo once or twice before. But you came anyways in this incarnation with a heart full of love and compassion for so many throughout your incarnation because you're a pure heart and a pure soul. And you've often been doing it at your own expense, giving at your own expense, putting yourself last, not choosing yourself or self abandoning. And that's where the suffering comes in. And that's when the tower moments hit. And that's when the betrayals come in and pull the rug out from under you. When you're not choosing yourself, and it's all baked into the journey, it's all baked into the rising, it's all baked into your ultimate rebirth and the greatest revelation that you'll ever have, which nothing in the world of form can give to you. Not money, not another person, not any level of success. And that is your divine power, one with God, your divine greatness. You came to experience that. You came to experience divine love in human form. You came to experience divine power in human form. You came to experience divine greatness in human form. And so as a phase of this quote unquote journey, this purification and all of the alchemy that you came here to to facilitate, not only for your own karmic clearing, but for generations to come and all through your lineage for lifetimes. You've incarnated now in order to clear and purify all of that. So you are a brave soul, you are an ancient soul. And while it may still feel like you're carrying the burdens on your back, just know that if this is resonating, that wave that I was speaking to earlier, that's writing a whole new life story now and is moving into building new earth through frequency and divine love and divine truth. We're all in this together. We're rising together. There's different waves of the collective. And if this is resonating with you, it's because that's also what you're moving into. And there may be periods of this journey where you feel like all the burdens are, you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder and all of the burdens are on your back. And there's no escape. And that is a clear sign when you feel as if you're in this tumultuous tornado of circumstances of which you feel there is no escape. That is divinely guided to bring you home to yourself. So you can finally stop looking out there and turn the mirror back on yourself and go inward. Let me just give a disclaimer that this does not mean that if you're sitting in some kind of toxic environment that you sit there, you remove yourself from the toxic environment because you deserve to be safe. So let me just throw that out there as a disclaimer because the egoic mind can come up with all kinds of stories around what I'm actually transmitting here. In truth, it's about choosing yourself above all else. It's about choosing truth and divine sovereignty and divine power and divine love over everything else. And if you're in situations where you feel the burden, some weight of the world, or you're giving power away and you know it because you already know it, or you wouldn't still be listening to this. If you were giving your power away but completely checked out about it, you wouldn't be seeking this kind of information and clicking on videos like this. You wouldn't resonate with this. You wouldn't be in the frequency to receive this transmission. So if you're giving your power away and you're feeling the burdensome weight of that, and you know it on some level, it's time to choose you. It's time to choose you. by choosing you, you choose everyone else as well. So this may feel backwards to energy healers that are here to heal everyone else. But oftentimes, to be honest, I see healers in the spiritual community sometimes being the most sick on a physical level or an emotional level. And I'm not passing judgment here. I'm saying that, and this is not a universal statement. So let me dive deeper because I've seen this over and over again. And as an energy healer and all of those kind of things myself, it's often trying to save everyone else and fix everyone else and heal everyone else and help everyone else that you are self abandoning and neglecting your own needs, um, your own well being, your own healthy boundaries. I see it all the time, and I've seen it with the spiritual entrepreneurs I work with as well. Over giving, under receiving. It's all different reflections of the same thread. Rejecting any kind of like it's like sending out a signal that like repels and rejects like well-being and abundance because they're operating from this martyr energy where everybody else gets helped except for them, and that they'll deplete themselves. And this is very dangerous for those that are very empathic and attuned to being an energy healer. Depleting yourself, for depleting and leading from an empty cup doesn't work, right? You end up very sick. You end up giving all of your power away, and your body will even reflect that. And I've seen this a lot. And so it's time to choose yourself in all regards, in relationships, both personal and romantic. It's with relationships with clients, relationships with your neighbor, like any family, like all of it. It's time to choose yourself. This is not selfish, but it will feel selfish. It will feel selfish because you're so used to not putting yourself first. And there's many ways that this can happen, and it only leads to depletion. It only leads to resentment. It only leads to dis-ease. It only leads to feeling energetically drained. And so this is a message that the empaths and those that are here to uplift and have been on this journey for a while, and you're feeling the burdensome weight. I can say in hindsight, yes, looking back, everything has served, and you're going to go through your own trials and tribulation. That's part of what your soul came here to experience. And I also trust and know that you didn't land here on accident, because there are no accidents, which means you're ready to hear, if this is resonating, the transmission that's coming through on some level, or you wouldn't be here. And that is, it's time to choose you in all aspects. When you begin to choose yourself in all aspects of life, you begin to take your power back. And when you plug those energetic leaks, your frequency rises. And when your frequency rises, you begin to attract more that matches that frequency. It's very, very simple. But you can't keep leaking your energy and leaking your power all over the place. There has to be discernment, wise discernment. And it's not selfish to put yourself first. And it's actually paradoxically the highest contribution to humanity that you can make, because the highest contribution to humanity is you being full on in your highest frequency, is it not? New Earth is the language of frequency. It's rooted on frequency and coherence and resonance. If you're giving your power away and you're operating from codependency or people pleasing or overgiving and underreceiving, and you're operating from fear-based consciousness or guilt or shame or lack and all of those things, and then you're giving away your power, and then you're building resentment, or your body is absorbing the byproduct of that, and you're in a state of dis-ease because of it, you're not emitting the highest frequency that you could be emitting. And so it's actually your highest contribution to humanity to put yourself first and choose yourself. And it is through the light and the resonance of your frequency that you will be the highest contribution to humanity. There is no martyr energy in New Earth. There is no savior complex in New Earth. There are no wounded healers in New Earth because you're already whole and complete. There's just alchemy. There's just alchemy that takes place through the light of your awareness. And as you embody more and more the truth of who you are and the divine presence and essence that you are, and you're no longer addicted to the little mind and you start to fully, no longer identify with that, things can bubble up and they alchemize very fast because you're no longer identified with them. They no longer mean anything about you, right? Prior to this, everything means something about you, right? And you will be challenged in the 3D world when you make this claim to start choosing yourself. Don't be surprised when you are then presented with a situation or a life circumstance that gives you the opportunity to choose yourself and say yes to what you mean to say yes to and say no what you mean to say no to. And the more you act from having those sacred yeses and those sacred nos, the more you become a pure channel of higher frequency. You plug those energetic leaks. I, I'm just guided to show this glass of water here because it's like if the water represents like your frequency and what you're able to emit and transmit, if you didn't have the masculine structure in this metaphor, the healthy discerning boundaries, the water would be spilling everywhere. Your frequency would be all over the place. So, energetic and physical, even wise, discerning, healthy boundaries, and calling all your power back, your time, your energy, your essence, no longer depleting yourself, no longer choosing things in the 3D world that drain or deplete you, whether that be the content that you're consuming, whether that be the people you're hanging out with, whether that be the relationships you're entertaining, whether that be the living space you're living in. Maybe there's things that need to be dialed in to bring it into more harmony. Like, begin to bring harmony into the day to day. Begin to bring harmony into your life experience. Ultimately, everything is a reflection of what you're embodying within. And when you're able to start choosing yourself above all else, you are making the highest contribution to humanity and you are alchemizing all of those core, uh, I say the word wounded, belief systems, but it's just a belief. These are just layers on top of the truth of who you are. They're just like veils on top of who and what you truly are that have you buying into a story or narrative that is rooted in lack, unworthiness, or fear-based consciousness in some way, and it's the identity with that identity, the one that's rooted in fear, that has you operating from those old patterns and conditioning of giving power away. So at the end of the day, the answer, the solution, the key to the kingdom is always the same, which is coming home to the truth of who and what you truly are, the divine love and the divine truth that lives you and breathes you and animates your vessel and your being. And the sooner you make this journey about your ascension and coming home to the truth of who you are and stop the chasing and the seeking outside of yourself and start implementing the sacred no's and the sacred yeses and getting really wise discernment around what you're available for and what you're not available for, and calling your power back and believing and knowing in your heart that you are a worthy child of God, already whole and complete, just like the little baby that was birthed into existence, already whole and complete for just existing. There was nothing the little baby when you popped into this world as spirit in human form of a baby. The baby didn't have to earn its worth. The only thing that's shifted is the layers of conditioning and beliefs that have been put upon you. through circumstance and through other people coming from their own wounded energy that had you believe some way that you were somehow not good enough or not worthy. And you are here to break those cycles. And as you break those cycles and come home to yourself, you will also be at the precipice of writing a whole new life for yourself, a whole new fresh start, anchoring the new earth through your frequency, through divine love and through divine truth and through your being the living transmission of who and what you truly are, which is divine perfection, wholeness, well-being, completeness, and your naturally high frequency. All of that stuff gets peeled off during this purification, and the only thing left is the truth of who you are, which is already high frequency. So I know this is probably a pretty long transmission, but I think that's sounds or feels complete. If you happen to be listening to this on 11/11, there is an opportunity to get a full year completely included, which is a huge, massive value, a full year of Embody the Empress. If you're moving into fully embodying your divine sovereignty, it is a included until midnight tonight as a bonus, as my gift to you. If you are also feeling called to step into your leadership, Rise Sister Rise is my premium initiation chrysalis for those rising into their sacred feminine new earth leadership. And it is a 13-week deep dive immersion that is available now. But anyone that enrolls before midnight tonight also gets a full year of Embody the Empress. So Embody the Empress will then cover you all the way until November 2026, November 11th, 2026. So after the 13-week immersion is over with Rises to Rise, you still have ways to integrate and integrate what's being activated within you every single week with me through November of next year. So for those that know that you're on the cusp of stepping into leadership, that wave that knows you're here to share your magic and your message and your gift with the world, and you've been resonating with this content, then Rise Sister Rise. If you're here to step into your leadership and your sacred visibility and be the leader that you know you came here to be, then Rise Sister Rise is for you. And you also get Embody the Empress. If you're feeling like you're a little earlier on and you're not truly ready to step into new earth leadership yet, you honestly know you're here to step fully into your divine sovereignty right now and start choosing yourself and start putting yourself first and start honoring yourself as the divine vessel that you are, and plugging those energetic leaks, so to speak, to come fully home to being the divinely sovereign ruler of your life, aka the Empress, the ruler of your life, which is effortlessly magnetic to your highest divine timeline, that doesn't chase, doesn't seek, doesn't prove, doesn't effort, fully attracts and magnetizes through her frequency. Then Embody the Empress may just be where you want to start. And Embody the Empress is also available right now on a monthly basis. So you can be in it for as long as you want, cancel anytime. You can check that out. But Rise Sister Rise also includes a whole year of Embody the Empress. So that's all of the housekeeping. If you have any questions, DM me the word rise on Instagram at Spiritual CEO. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.